place like the curtains drawn, the table set. I wanna be at my best. It's bittersweet.
Well, good morning, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. So feel free to grab some seat. Thanks everyone for coming out. It's great to see lots of faces. Some that I know are through online, some that I've met. So this morning we're going to kind of do I'm a really interactive person. I actually love interactive media in all forms, which includes presentations. The goal is not to bore you or to sell you a product. That is not what this is about at all. So hashtags for the morning if you're doing social media is work break, and then for this one specifically, we're going to do hashtag good hustle, which is going to incorporate with this talk. My name is Melissa Jones, and I'm one of the co-owners here at work with Sydney Morgan. And I'm also the owner of Glisten and Grace Design Studio, which is a graphic design studio and lifestyle blog that I've been doing from running for about 1.5 years, but I've been in business for 4 years. So that is me. If you have any questions during today's talk, we're going to do a Q&A time with both Sydney and I kind of facilitating those questions. Sydney's a wedding photographer, I'm a designer, so if you have anything specifically about the talk that you want to ask, go on ahead and post your questions in the Facebook event page for this. That way we keep them all in one place and we have them documented for video later. We also have a YouTube channel, there we go, not YouTube, that's a band, a YouTube channel under the same social media handle, Come Work Ready. So you'll be finding these videos in retrospect, things for workspace in general, as time goes on. So I think that's all the introductory things I'm going to cover. Let me see if there's anything else thinking of. No, that's it. That's all I have. Am I missing anything? I think that's it. Cool. Okay, so the great and beauty of hustle. We decided upon this topic because we really wanted to relate to where creatives were at, specifically in Reading right now. A lot of creatives that we've met, they're kind of a one-man or a one-woman show, developing a lot, but not really feeling like we can have a niche market. For me, my story of starting hustle actually began with a lot of grit. I was facing a huge career transition. I went from being a full-time student pastor to being unemployed in my parents' house for 10 months, which was terrible. And Kentucky, you can imagine being self-starter and on your own for about 8 years and then moving home with your parents unemployed. It felt super defeating for me. And so I was very much in the grit. I was unemployed, and then I got a full-time job, but it was with a place that was 1099, and I was starting out doing customer service for them, and then it evolved into a design job. So I kind of found myself in this 9 to 5 that paid the bills, but it really didn't provide any creative expression that I really desired. And so then I would start onboarding hustle on the side to build up what I really wanted. I also was still kind of trying to figure out if I was going to go back into doing full-time pastoral work for a church. And so I was doing a lot of, in essence, side hustle, but not really in a creative field. Or it might have looked like packaging for nonprofits or for more ministry-based organizations, but it didn't really feel like this is what I want to do. This is what I want to build. And so that was my life for a good 3 years back in Kentucky. The creative culture in Kentucky is very particularly in Louisville where I'm from, it's pretty cutthroat. You go to really large media houses to get your design overhauls done, and everybody competes for jobs there. If you don't get a job there, good luck as a freelancer. It was just really, really hard to get a stake in the market, regardless of what you were doing. So I found myself working for really large churches there on a contract basis, and then also doing this day job, and not really building what I wanted, just in this really stuck scenario, and doing it for about 80 hours a week, which was awful. It was a lot of work, and so when I moved to Reading, it felt like a fresh start for me. And so I wasn't going to really do anything in the land of student ministry anymore. That was a decision I made as soon as I came and moved to Reading. And I started the blog. And as I started building these things, I was like, okay, this was great for me because it became creative expression. It became ways that I was going to allow my heart to come alive and create what I really wanted, whether I was getting paid for it or not. And so some of you all might have really similar things, like passion projects you're working on. They may not pay the bills. You might totally still have the 9-to-5 responsibility. For me, I was in school, still working for the company that I worked for in Kentucky, doing a blog and then onboarding major clients as well throughout this year. And so that comes to the grit and the beauty, right? There's always the grit of doing hustle. It's like, am I keeping up? Oh man, I thought I had an awesome photo shoot idea. I thought my Instagram was killer. And then I just saw somebody else and they're killing it far more than I am today. There's the late nights, there's the hard work. There's also the acknowledgement of I'm actually doing still this day job and I'm not where I really want to be. Or this idea of, well, I have to kill it all the time. Like I can never give myself a day off. I always have to be connected to my phone. We talk about sometimes going analog. So you hear a lot of people talk about this. Like we're now going analog for 2 days. And then you come back to your phone and you realize, oh my gosh, this is everything I just missed. But then there's also the beauty of hustle, right? It's the idea of I'm creating something that's making me come alive. I'm not allowing someone else to determine my income ceiling for me. I'm actually building something for myself. I'm building something for my family. I'm building something in this community. And so through, I would say probably this year of learning how to kind of balance things, I've learned a little bit about what makes good hustle. And that's what I really want to focus the rest of today's talk on. And if you want to go on ahead in your notes stack, you'll find the Good Hustle Manifesto. And for me, I went on ahead, it's the second page, it's Good Hustle Means. And this is a manifesto I wrote. You didn't start being a creative because you wanted to work 80 hours a week and not make ends meet. That wasn't like your vibe, that wasn't why you decided to do this. I think most creatives would be like, no way, that sounds terrible. And so this was something that I wrote because I really wanted to have defining lines. I really wanted to have definition of why I was doing what I was doing, rather than just running after something for the sake of hustle, or for the sake of killing it, or for the sake of, I think sometimes society-wise, we might find more value and success and meaning and definition to our career if we say we're busy all the time. It almost becomes a badge of honor of like, I haven't slept for 3 days, what have you done? And that's not really what I valued. It wasn't what I really wanted. And so the first thing I wrote on Good Hustle. Good Hustle means living with more while simultaneously doing less. And that doesn't mean for me having loads of stuff. That means actually building the life I want. It means going back to my whys. It means going back to my differentiators and the things that I really value. So for me as a design studio, I'm a big person with kindness and generosity. When you come to me, I want it to be an experience that you love as a client. That you're gonna come back and we're gonna create something really beautiful together. I believe in really highly interactive processes and not creating in a silo. Sometimes designers like to hold off and create in a silo, and it makes clients really unhappy. And so I'm really about every client I bring on builds me toward my values. It builds me toward my why, and it allows me to free up. It allows me to go and have a month travel season. It allows me to have financial needs to do things like have capital to open this space, for example. It always is building toward a final goal more than just the job itself. So that kind of means, it means working to build the life I want. It means balance and taking time off. Like yesterday, I got to go ski boating with friends on Shasta Lake, and it was so fun. And just things like that, even in like the first month of business, like Sydney and I really value still taking time off in the month of crazy and first startup. And so we have scheduled days off here where we don't have to be here, and the other person takes it, which is awesome. And not many business owners, I think, do that in their first month of being open. I will create good and beautiful things. How many times as a creative do you kind of be like, oh, I'll take this job because it's what somebody wants, but then through the evolution of the product, you're not actually satisfied with what you deliver to a client anymore. Or you find yourself doing, for me as a blogger, sometimes I find myself doing content creation, but it's not what I like. It's like, oh, I'm doing this because it feels ubiquitous and it feels like a trend and it feels like what somebody will buy or what I'll get engagement with, but it doesn't actually feel true to me. For a while, I was writing for a paleo food website and I was making great money doing it. Just as a side job, they got exclusive content for me. I did recipes for them, shooting, and then all the back end for it. But you guys, I love cheese. I love meat. I love grain. Like, I was like, I love using butter. Butter makes food taste good. And so while paleo and GF and AF is a great niche market, it was totally something that wasn't true to my blog. It wasn't true to my story. And so I was like, why am I creating something right now that I actually don't like? If I love art direction, if I love type, if I love actually moving toward partnering with brands, why do I have all this fluff here that I think other people expect? And so streamlining and making Good Hustle actually good. It's actually moving me forward in a certain direction. And I love this. I think it's probably my bottom line. Good hustle means always having purpose behind what I produce. So there's always a bottom line, there's always a reason why I'm doing something. I'm not just running after something for the sake of running after something. There's ultimately like, this is gonna create more overhead, less overhead, here's why I'm doing this. This is going to build creative community ready, this is why I'm doing this. Like when we decided to build this space, it wasn't, let's make the coolest space in Reading. That was not the point. It wasn't, let's make this like an urban area. This was, we actually live in creative community here, and we want to build a space to make amazing things happen. And so it wasn't just, let's put a lot of capital into making a cool office space and hope that people show up. It was, let's actually build something that has lasting value in this community. And so now it's your turn. So go on ahead and spend some time and figure out what makes Good Hustle for you. You can borrow some of the ideas that I use, and then we're actually gonna keep things a little bit interactive, and you're gonna kind of share with other people what makes your Good Hustle. So you're gonna share the manifesto that you wrote. Feel free, I know some of you guys might be more internal processors. Go on ahead and annotate like crazy, and you can totally process this afterward. This might be a little bit out of your norm for you, but we would love for you guys to engage. So go on ahead and spend a few minutes. If you need pens, there's plenty up here to use. And I'd say probably like 2-3 minutes with this guy, and then pair up with some people around you and share what makes